Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and a very warm welcome. Sometimes the most powerful statements come right at the very end. And today, that's exactly what we're looking at. The incredible final verse of the Qur'an's 14th chapter, Surah Ibrahim. This isn't just a simple conclusion. It's really a beautiful, powerful summary of the entire chapter's message for all of us.
So, here's how we're going to journey through this together. First, we'll explore this idea of the verse as a symphony's final chord. Then we'll actually look at the verse itself, and after that, we'll unpack its four core messages. We'll also take a moment to admire its incredible structure, and finally, we'll see how it all beautifully connects back to the main theme of the surah.
All right, so first things first. This verse is so much more than just the end of a chapter. I want you to think about it like the final, booming chord of a magnificent symphony. It takes all the big ideas from the chapter, themes like revelation, being grateful, justice, and guidance, and weaves them all together into one single, unforgettable statement.
It really is like a seal on a letter, right? It confirms that everything that came before it is complete, authentic, and true. This one verse manages to be a summary, a signature, and a mission statement all rolled into one. It just makes the chapter's message feel so whole, so complete. You just can't miss it.
Okay, let's actually turn to the verse itself now. And to really get a feel for its depth and beauty, we're going to experience it in three ways. First, in its original Arabic script, then we'll listen to its sound through transliteration, and finally, we'll dive into its meaning in English. So here it is, in the original Arabic. Just look at that for a moment. There's such a profound beauty and a natural rhythm in its very form, which, as we're about to see, is a perfect mirror of its meaning.
Now, for those of us who might not read Arabic, this transliteration is a wonderful way to connect with the sound, the flow of the original words. You can almost feel the cadence, can't you? You can hear where the emphasis falls.
And here we have the English translation. This single powerful sentence is what we're going to spend the rest of our time unpacking together. There's so much in here.
All right, so let's get our hands dirty and break this verse down into its four key parts. They're distinct, but you'll see how they're all beautifully interconnected. Each one builds on the last, and together they paint this complete picture of the Qur'an's purpose.
So it starts by calling the Qur'an a balagh. Now that word is so important. It doesn't just mean a message. It means a message that has been successfully delivered. It's a clear, complete communication that has reached its audience. Basically, it's saying the mission is fulfilled, the truth is out there, and the excuse of "I didn't know" is off the table.
Next, it says its purpose is to warn. But this isn't about scaring people. Think of it more like a compassionate alarm clock, a loving, urgent call to wake up before it's too late. The whole chapter is full of stories about past nations who faced real consequences because they hit the snooze button on these exact same warnings.
And that warning leads directly to the core of everything, the theological heart of Islam. Tawheed, the absolute, undeniable oneness of God. The entire chapter, every parable, every story, from the good and bad trees to the tales of the prophets, it's all been pointing right here. This is the central truth that all roads lead to.
And finally, the verse ends with this beautiful address to the ulu al-albab, which literally means the people of intellect or people of core understanding. And this is so crucial. The Quran isn't asking for blind faith. It's doing the opposite. It's making a direct appeal to our ability to reason, asking us to think, to reflect on the world around us, and to see the incredible harmony that points to one creator.
Okay, now this is where things get really fascinating. It's not just what the verse says that's so profound, it's how it says it. The meaning is perfectly matched by this brilliant, elegant structure.
It's honestly like poetry wrapped in logic. You see, the verse uses three parallel clauses, and each one starts with that little Arabic word li, which means so that or an under that. This creates this amazing rhythm, this clear logical flow that just carries you step by step through its purpose. It's beautiful to hear and so clear to understand. And what this structure does is reveal the Qur'an's threefold job. First, takhwif, to warn us, to awaken our moral conscience. Second, ta'rif, to clarify, to define the absolute truth of God's oneness. And third, tadhkir, to remind, to nourish the reflection of those who are willing to think. It's a process: warn, clarify, and remind.
So we've seen how this verse is built of such an incredible logic. Now let's connect all the dots and see how this grand finale brings the entire chapter full circle, right back to where it all began.
So what does it all boil down to? This verse confirms the message has been delivered, its purpose,
a moral awakening and an intellectual recognition of the one God. And it makes it clear that those who use their intellect, those with sound minds, are the ones who will truly listen and take heed. And in doing so, the chapter closes exactly as it began, with the promise of revelation as a guide to take us from darkness into light.
With all of that in mind, what's the one thing we're supposed to be left with? What is that final, echoing note that this verse wants to leave ringing in our hearts and minds?
Well, it brings us right back to our symphony. That final, echoing note is that final chord. It's calm, it's certain, it's complete. And its message of warning, of knowledge, and of remembrance, that's a message that's designed to echo through all of time, for anyone and everyone who is willing to listen, and most importantly, to think.